r/ask Reddit. What is the most obvious lie you have ever been told? We cannot give you a raise right now, but we will compensate you as soon as the budget allows. Turns out when the budget allows is when you already have another job offer and put in your 2 weeks notice. How convenient. In high school a buddy told me that he didn't steal our other buddy's watch. He was wearing the watch when I asked him about it. Long-term borrowing. He'll give it back some say, I'm sure. Your call is important to us. Or, we are experiencing unprecedented call volume at this time. A representative will be with you shortly, and we have always been at war with East Asia. The company is in a great shape, so don't pay any attention to rumors about financial trouble. I was picking up a sofa from a guy I found on Kijiji and he stopped me right before leaving to see if I wanted to buy a mirror he was also looking to get rid of. I wasn't really interested, but my wife seemed keen, so we stopped in the hallway to check it out. He said it was a gift from my son-in-law. It's a beautiful mid-century antique. I'll let it go for $75. He went on about what an amazing mirror it was and even told me pick it up and feel how sturdy it is. I picked it up. It was really heavy actually, and took a peek at the back and saw a sticker from Value Village with a $30 price tag. I kinda chuckled to myself and asked if he would go any lower than $75. He said I really couldn't. Then I said, well, I can see a tag from Value Village on the back here. We ended up getting the mid-century antique mirror for $15 and me and my wife still laugh about the amazing deal we got on it. We're not playing favorites. Was told I needed to buy my own car as a teen and I did. Following year my baby bro was given a free car. He's 15 months younger. Is now 56, still living at home. Ugh. My sister had her car and college pretty much paid for. I was basically told to kick rocks. We will keep your resume on hand and let you know if any other positions open up. As a recent graduate job searching, it hurts. As a tax accountant, I'm told lies about how much money people actually made all the time during tax season. My favorite was a guy telling me he's broke because he only makes $35,000 a year in NYC, so my very reasonable fee is too much for him. He says this after he asks me if he can deduct the new BMW 5 Series he just bought his son all cash. It isn't just the lie, but the added insult of such a bad lie told to one's face that is so galling. When my little brother mixed like 50 condiments, including sprinkles, ketchup, cereal and stuff, into a bag of popcorn and ate it, telling us it was delicious when his face looked like he had just ate 10 extremely sour warheads at once. He later admitted he just wanted us to eat it, but we never did. One time my little brother tried to make me a sandwich just to be nice, but said sandwich was just chocolate chips cookies covered in mustard between 2 pieces of bread. He clearly wanted to see how I'd react and I of course refused to eat it. He told our mom I was being rude, and the worst part was after she actually saw the sandwich he still said I was supposed to humor him. I just threw it away and told both no. I can finish this Civ game tonight. One does not simply finish a Civ game. Does it count if the person believed me because I told someone the world was in black and white until the first nuclear explosions? Yes, nothing like a bit of radiation to bring color to the world. I did brush my teeth, I swear. This toothbrush, bone dry. When a co-worker told my own story back to me as his own, twice. Loyalty to a company would be repaid. When I was a teenager I worked at a grocery store, which went under and was in the process of being bought by a new one. We were told during this process that our loyalty would be rewarded and would all get to keep our jobs and whatnot. I hated that job anyway and ditched it for a different one. But it turns out that after about a week or so they just fired everyone and sold it to a bigger grocery chain. My little girl told everyone in the supermarket that our cat died and she was sad. We don't own a cat. Any lieutenant saying that the platoon can go home early on a Friday if you work hard right now. Just about anything a lieutenant says should be run by the captain first, unless the lieutenant says, I don't know, in which case he's probably right and is probably prior enlisted as well. A childhood friend and I met up for coffee one day after not meeting for a few years. He casually let it slip that ever since he earned a black belt he has had to register with the state as a human weapon. I never said you had to sign the document if it wasn't true, says the person with 3 emails telling me to sign a document even after I said it wasn't true sitting on her outbox. I was given a blank lease from a realtor and he told me to sign it. Nope. By blank I meant a standard Ontario lease with nothing filled in. My friend told me that getting a Peloton changed her life. I looked up her workout stats and she had used it 4 times in 5 months of owning it. Her husband fared a little better with using it 9 times. Don't know why this annoyed me so much. Being able to tell people she owns a Peloton changed her life. Using it would be overkill. My friend said he had a body count of 200 plus. He was a slightly fat guy who spends all his free time on video games and hates to leave his apartment. I mean, he never said he was talking about sex. Have you been in his basement? It wasn't me. Honey came in and she caught me red-handed creeping with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked banging on the bathroom floor. Used to have a friend that spewed bullshit all the time. Told me her bio parents, who lived together, were divorced and seeing other people, and also that she had 25 siblings. Brought it up to her mom one time, which was an interesting conversation. She also told us she had cancer, and then a week later it was miraculously cured. Edit. Spelling. I have a family member who did the cancer thing. A cousin found out it was a lie, but the one that I'll never forget was when I introduced her to my friend who has lupus. I don't know how the topic came up about it, but she literally told my friend in front of me that she also had lupus. I immediately ended the conversation and left. I told my friend she was lying and now we laugh about it, but seriously, no shame. My mom, after 11-year-old me, accidentally destroyed her favorite vase by throwing my brother's stuffed animals around the living room. I'm not mad. When I was a kid, the internet wasn't a thing, so my friends were whoever happened to live in the neighborhood. One kid was a well-known liar and exaggerator. We were maybe 14 years old at this time. This kid could play guitar and was always talking himself up about it and talking about his band. He actually could play, but his band did not exist. One day, I called him at his house. From my house. I don't remember what it was about, but a few minutes into the conversation, told me, by the way, I'm in Florida with my band. Just out of the blue. This was before even pagas were a common thing. I called him, at his house. I just said something like, okay, and ended the conversation. I then proceeded to tell all the other kids in the neighborhood. My first watch was an Amiga and I saved up on high school to get it. One of my good friends back then asked to wear it for one period and would give it back at lunch. He begged and begged, so as a HS kid I gave in or couldn't keep saying no, I guess. Weak on me, obviously. Well, he smashed it. Apparently smashed the glass to test it. Gave it back and said it was a fake and that's why the glass cracked, and said he didn't do it and it just fell apart. A-hole became a medical doctor and is now involved in politics and holds state office. I'm still pissed about the watch he never admitted he broke cause he was salty and jealous. Donghead then. Donghead now. My brother told me I was a dragon and I totally believed him. Man, I was a dumb kid. But now I'm a dumb adult. I had a friend in college who was a serial liar. Just all kinds of crazy things. That must have satisfied some psychological need. All of it harmless. He told me he developed a theory on how to bend light passing through air and pitched the idea to the physics department, which set up an experiment and proved his theory to be true. He was a general studies major. I kept pressing him, well, which professor was it? How did the experiment work? Etc. Just kept digging deeper and changing the subject. My supervisor was pissed off at me after we had some issues and she told me, excuse me, I want to go to the toilet, while she truly went to release her anger to other co-workers. She should have taken them farther for I could hear her. Stupid. When my friend was an infant, her mother put her 2-year-old sibling in her crib while the mom left the room briefly. When mom came back, my friend was crying and had teeth marks on her forehead. When mom asked the older sibling what happened, she calmly said, she bit herself. When I was a public defender, my dipshit client called up his victim from the jail phone the night before his trial. He said kill repeatedly in an attempt to intimidate her. When I was telling him how stupid this was, his excuse was that he was watching Kill Bill and someone changed the channel on the cell block communal TV. That dumbass is now doing 28 years in prison. It's not you, it's me. I said that in a much more elaborate way to a girl I dated in college. I feel like it was true. I was in a terrible downward spiral. I was a raging alcoholic, failing most of my classes, had not idea what I wanted to do with my life. I broke up with her because she was too good for that and I didn't want to drag her down with me. I recently reconnected with her after 20 years and finally told her everything. I will admit, she did think I was lying back then, but she turned out pretty okay. When I was 16 I'd had a crush on one of my co-workers, and he'd liked me back. I thought things were going good until I asked him if he wanted to go out on our shared day off. He agreed, and then the day off cancelled and told me it was because he needed to take care of his fish. Plot twist here is that I told a few of my friends, 2 of which worked with me and the guy, and I went on and on about how rude it is of him to not even give me a believable lie. Those friends were all hanging out and went to Walmart that day, and ran into my crush, buying food and supplies for his fish. He told them how excited he was about the fish too. I felt like the biggest a-hole. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.